beat the chipping yips. It's going to be probably something you've never heard of. These type of shots can be tricky. Anxiety hitting that shot. You can really improve your chipping to hold on and manufacture from there. But a shot like this is quite psychological. There is no control. Can't say it enough. I cannot say this enough. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Warren Bennett. See Trev down there enjoying this sun, as you can see, with the side of the putting green here at Chestfield. And I've got a video today to beat the chipping yips. Now, to take advantage of this video, you don't actually need to have the yips, but I'm going to give you a couple of feelings that you can really improve your chipping, especially these little delicate ones around the green like we've got here, because I've seen too many club golfers have a lot of trouble with such a short shot like we've got here. But I get it, because the closer we get to the green, kind of the more psychological it gets. But to reset everything, we've got to allow this club to do the work for us. It don't need any power, it doesn't need any speed, don't need to be flexible for a shot like this, but it can become very psychological. So I'm going to give you a few tips and a few exercises and a few feelings that you can reset and start again. So I'm just going to get the front camera set up, get the drone down. I'm going to tell you what they are. Okay everyone, so thanks very much for joining me for another one. And look, I get it, it can be difficult. These type of shots can be tricky, but I'm not expecting you to go from struggling to becoming Phil Mickelson overnight. And you don't need to be, you just need to be quite competent. And I'm not going to show you and tell you different techniques. I'm going to tell you something today that is going to be probably something you've never heard of. And that is, what I'd like you to do in your chip shot is give up. I'd like you to put your club in a position where you don't have any control of that club and where it goes. That might sound quite scary to someone who would like to kind of feel like what they're doing, but just like a little chip shot like that, you can see my last two chips haven't been that close really, but it's allowing that club to drop down without any control. You can see what I'm doing there. I'm not turning myself into Phil Mickelson, but getting the club, getting the ball out and getting it somewhere close to that pin. So the only technical thing I'm going to actually show you today is I want you to put the club in a position where it's up and out. So you can see there, what you don't want to do is inside and behind. Because if you're inside and behind, you can't let go. Because let go basically means if you put the club in a position that's up and out, you can just drop. Now I'd like you to have no more than one pressure, grip pressure. So it's club up and out with zero pressure. And literally I'd like you to let go from here. Literally drop the club down onto the ground. Don't worry about where it hits. Now you can work on gravity. Now you can allow that club to drop on to the ball there. So what you're looking for is allowing that club to drop down without too much kind of flump that one a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect all the time, and I'm not putting it on perfect lies. I'm putting it on a lie where there's some grass around the ball. So it's not going to be perfect, but what you've got to do is put that club in a position where you can just drop it. There is no control. There is no hit. You're not trying to gouge it out. You're just trying to allow the weight of that club to drop. And to do that, lift it a bit up in the air, put it a bit outside, never behind, put it a bit outside and allow that weight to drop onto the ball or round about where that ball is. Nice and light with the grip. There we go, you're just dropping it onto that ball. I know that's quite scary. You're someone who has a little bit of anxiety hitting that shot. You just take the control, and I haven't suffered from hips. No, I haven't suffered from the yips. So take this with a pinch of salt. And if you have, and if you are at the moment, you know, I feel for you. Nice and light with the grip, hardly holding on. Toothpaste, up and drop. No follow through. Now that might be against the grain for like a little normal shot off a lovely lie. You know, in a perfect world, you can turn through and everything's together. And I agree. But that's for someone who isn't struggling. That isn't for someone who has that type of motion, who has kind of too much lift, too much jump up, and there's too much lifting up and anxiety hitting this chip shot. I'm looking for the opposite. I'm looking for, don't worry about a follow through. Remember, this is extreme, but remember, for someone who's struggling, you don't want any follow through. You don't want to have to kind of feel like you're making a perfect follow through and everything's looking through. Don't worry about that. Just give up. Remember to allow that club to drop, pick it up long and out, not short, inside and low. From here you can't drop it, you can't let go, so you have to hold on and manufacture from there. Whoop, there you go, loss of balance just for a little shot, little swing like that. So pick it up, quite not wristy. Remember, there's a little bit of arm swing, head nice and still, but there's no control. Can't say it enough. I cannot say this enough. There is no control for a little shot like this for someone who's struggling, if that's you. Bit of trust involved. It might take you a few, if you're struggling a little bit, and you might say, yeah, it's okay for you. But yes, it's fine, I get that. But a shot like this is quite psychological. And if there's a bunker there, then it becomes even more psychological. So I get it. But if you've got a chipping green, and unfortunately I can't at the moment because it's quite busy, so I've had to push myself to this corner. But if you've got a chipping green with something in front of you, and it might take a little bit of time, especially out in the golf course, you might feel like you get here and there's some kind of quickness to it, I get it. But it might take a bit of time to kind of infiltrate onto the golf course. But if you can get half your chips better, and then the next half you can kind of start chiseling away, that would be a really good result. And the next half might come in slow increments. And you might have been told, yes, we need acceleration, you need to be nice and quick. No, you don't. You need lightness to get rid of your chipping yips or any sort of inconsistency for a shot like this. It needs to be long, light, and it needs to give up. I know that's really weird language for a chip shot, but you just need softness for a little chip shot like this. There is no control. Let go. See if I can hold one. Nice and light. To allow that club to drop, and that's like up and out, and just let that club drop on the ball like that. Okay everyone, so thanks very much for joining me for another one. And look, I know it's kind of scary language. It's probably not really kind of the norm to say just give up on a chip. Being able to let the club do the work, that's the first step. It might take a few steps for you to really trust that, and I get that, but practice is the key. Get on the range, get on the chipping green, and just practice these little shots here. There is no effort, and that can be for everyone, by the way. That's not just generally someone who's really struggling has got the yips. That can really improve your chipping, especially these little shots around the green like that. You don't need to be perfect, by the way. Okay everyone, so from a lovely evening here at Chestfield and a very sleepy Trev down there, we bid you farewell. Have a great golfing week. So thank you very much for all your support just by watching the videos, watching previous videos, becoming a member of the Academy down there. If that's anything of your fancy, please go and take a look. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so for myself and a beautiful evening here at Chestfield, from myself and a very sleepy Trev down there, we bid you farewell. Have a great golfing week, and we'll see you next time. Cheerio!